Hello, everyone. Welcome to your favorite podcast, Pod Chef, the only official Top Chef podcast out there. And if you listen to any others that say they're official Top Chef podcast, they are liars. Guys, how you doing? How you feeling? How'd you like the episode?
I'm feeling good. I know I said it last week, but I'm going to have to revise what I said because this week's episode is now my favorite episode.
I thought it was great. I mean, super surprising, dramatic. I thought it was great.
Yeah, so that's two people, two for grape. And then we have Brian. What do you?
Hey everyone, it's Brian. I didn't love this episode. I thought it had
And
some
there it is.
fun, like drama moments, but overall, I thought that the actual challenges were stupid. Not stupid, just not exciting. And I really appreciate you guys not bringing up the fact that we are starting a brand new record, because we had tried to do one, got
I
about
think me and
15 minutes
Reeves-
into it.
Me and Reeves know you well enough that we knew you were going to bring it up.
I want so I can bring it up.
Yeah, we're like, we don't need to mention it. Brian will definitely call attention to it.
But he did. You already talked about it, so that was good. I'm surprised you thought that it was. I mean, I thought there were things that happened in this episode that I'm like, I've never seen this happen on Top Chef before. So I guess we'll get into it. But I thought it was exciting.
I mean, if you say that you saw a specific section that happens on Top Chef, or you thought this will have to do with Top Chef, you're gonna be like, wait, that happened? Yes, folks, that happened. You'll know what I'm talking about when we get to it.
Yeah, I mean, it had some exciting moments, but like overall, I didn't love it.
Okay. Do you not love food?
No, I like food.
Okay, well then what's not to love about this episode?
We can talk
Speaking
about
of
it.
loving food, chefs, what did you guys fix for dinner last night?
And since I am the co-host, I'll go first. Chefs, I prepare for you cinnamon and nutmeg sautéed diced sweet potatoes, jewel yam sweet potatoes, and sautéed spinach, and Old Bay, and butter infused olive oil rubbed salmon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go again. It feels weird pretending like we are doing this for the first time.
You know what we should have done? We should have said what the other people had versus. No, I think about it. That's what we should have done.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
So I had fake chicken tenders, Gardein brand hot Nashville style chicken tenders with French fries on a pan, which I like to call a tray, which I put in the oven and baked. It's a tray bake.
And I feel weird.
You essentially had baked vegetables for dinner.
What?
Those Gardein they're made from vegetables, so you essentially just had baked vegetables for dinner.
No, I think they're like soy. I think it's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
where do you think soy comes from?
I don't know, a cow or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, no, soy is like a vegetable, like corn is a vegetable. Like, yeah, it's a vegetable, but like you're not eating anything healthy for you.
Do you know what soy is?
It's edamame, right?
And what are essentially edamame?
Green beans.
That's what I think too.
Holy crap.
It's been very hard for me to not make my Tribeca joke that I made in the last record because I wasn't very proud of myself, even though I said to cut it.
I liked it.
But just to our fans, know that I made a very witty pun in the last record, and it was very witty.
Wait, I think you referenced it wrong just then. You said Tribeca, but in the last record you said I'm from Trebake, like Canada, not Tribeca, like New York.
Man, and there's so many layers to this. That's a good one. Which one do we like better?
I like Trebake.
I think I like Tribeca.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
you're in New York. So.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm biased.
You're a New York boy. Chefs, I prepared for you leftover Thai food. I had I don't want to pull up my Uber Eats again. So I pulled it up before so I could look at it because I couldn't remember. I had like a noodle thing. But
I have a
don't remember what I
question.
said.
I have a question. Hold on. I have a
Pepsi,
question.
that's what it was.
I have a question. Did you have another thing with that?
Something you weren't supposed to have?
Yeah, something you weren't supposed to eat?
Yeah, I had a Seth Curry.
And for some reason, I thought you were going to say Seth Rogen, and it didn't make any sense. But you said it, and I was like, Seth Rogen? You had said Seth Curry.
Yeah.
Which Seth Curry is doesn't have as many championship rings as Steph Curry, right?
That's correct. Does Seth have any?
I
I was
don't
just
think
trying
so.
to think because he's bounced around a lot. I don't think he has one, right? Because he was in.
He was on the Clippers for a while, and they famously
Yeah.
did not win the championship.
Yeah, famously.
They were picked to win it all last year, and then they all took a big crap on the bubble floor. And
Yeah.
Doc Rivers bounced.
How do you lose 3 games when you're up by 20? I'll never know.
I don't know. Why don't you ask?
I would ask Kawhi Leonard, but today I got word that he is managing, so he can't take any questions or anything because he's resting. So he can't work. This is his Sabbath. So
okay, so this is like his. Well, yeah, we all know that Kawhi is a robot, so like he probably is like in a sleep state right now.
Yeah, he's
powered
charging.
down.
Yeah, he's charging.
Yeah, they call it stasis when you're in space.
Yeah, he's in cryostasis right now.
All right. Well, that's the shortest amount of talk before we talk about the episode we've ever done.
We did so much, and it feels so weird to do it again. There was this cursed Curry bit that we talked more about The Office, and you guys will never get to hear that.
Yeah, you'll never get to hear it. It'll be, you know what? Someday we will re-record exactly what we said in that again and release that just as a bonus episode.
Yeah, for the paywall once we get there.
Once we get behind that paywall.
Yeah, we can't wait to get a paywall.
Guys, this episode was crazy. We're just gonna jump into it. Season 2, episode 6, Thanksgiving. I don't even know what to say. Jamal, do you want to kick it off?
I mean, this starts off right away, gets your attention. We all know the past couple episodes, Tom Colicchio, which you're going to find out in a second that we've all been saying his name incorrectly. But Tom has been putting his foot down and saying he's going to keep a closer eye on the chefs, right? Well, guess who's the quick-fire judge this go-round?
Do you want me to guess?
Hello, chefs. Welcome to the Kenmore Kitchen. There are 10 of you left to compete for the title of Top Chef. Tom Colicchio will be judging today's quickfire challenge.
So Tom Colicchio, which I think is the body double for Tom Colicchio, is in this episode, and he is the guest judge for the quickfire. So he's Tom. Since the last episode, they've made a second version of Tom. It's Tom 2.0, and he came out. He even smiled. That's how I knew it wasn't the real Tom, because when he was introduced, he gave a smile and a wave. And so this Tom is now like, you ever see that movie with Eddie Murphy inside his own body, like running it like a robot?
Being John Malkovich?
Yes. I think that's what's happening here, is that there's a big Tom Colicchio, but inside is a little Tom Colicchio.
And I think that brings up a good point, because I think we all have a little Tom Colicchio inside all of us.
I think so. If you're watching the show, for sure.
So I'm a little confused.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you just played now is like that. What I watched, that never happened.
What are you talking about?
Like it just like, you know, the thing with Tom was like, you said like Tom was like judging the quickfire or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Tom wasn't in the episode that I watched.
Well, Tom Colicchio was in this episode.
Why don't you just play the clip that I sent?
Okay, I'll play yours.
And then I maybe, yeah.
I'll get yours in a second. Because I could have sworn, like, it's Tom Colicchio.
Respect my honor. This is very important for me. That's it. I'm coming here like a lion.
Call it out,
I
Ash.
hear you talking about me. I'm the weak guy. I didn't say you was the weak guy.
You talked on Turbo,
I said
and then he
Turbo
said you have not
got
proven
tired
anything to
and
him.
died
Why are
when
you
we
so-
carried.
Why are you
When we
beating
carried.
us up right
Last
now?
season, I have win hardest challenge. Okay, you cannot call me
Hardest
weak.
challenge ever.
Yeah. So I just don't like. I didn't see Tom at all. Like, especially this part where Turbo and Jordan are getting into an argument because Jordan was talking shit about Turbo. I just, I didn't. I mean, what? Did you guys watch something different?
Brian?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let me go back and look. Let me look at what I watched. Because maybe I watched the wrong thing.
So
Hold on.
Tom,
Give me 1 second. You guys keep talking and I'll look through my history.
so I think what's confusing here is that Tom did come out. This was before he came out and joined Padma. He came out and it was kind of behind the scenes before the show started. It was like a cold open, and they were showing Tom talking to one of the producers, and he was wearing spandex underwear. He had knee pads on and shiny boots. And he was saying he was definitely going to be the toughest challenge this time.
Okay. I screwed up. So now
Did you
I'm
watch that
seeing
show where people were where it was like a wrestling reality show?
you know what? It felt like that, but now I'm seeing that the title of what I watched was The Challenge War of the Worlds 2, Episode 7, Zero Dark Turbo.
Which is Tom's other show.
Okay, and maybe that's how I got confused and went. So I watched an entire episode of The Challenge War of the Worlds 2 with no
Zero
context.
Dark Turbo.
Yeah, Zero Dark Turbo, which I mean, there's a gentleman on the show named Turbo. And he gets in an argument with someone, but oh boy.
Is that why you liked this episode so much? Because you watched the wrong show?
Yes. I think
Wow.
because I was very confused. I was like, where are the contestants? When are they going to start cooking? Where's Tom and Padma? But then they started like arguing with each other, and Turbo got real angry with Jordan, and they had to get like pulled apart. And actually, I mean, I know this isn't Top Chef, but the next clip that I have is pretty interesting about how the argument transpires even more.
You the best? Hey, don't show me like this. You the best? You cannot copy my ball. You cannot act like this. You the best? What's it? Stop it now. Done.
Turbo, I'm not scared of you. And I'm not gonna back down.
You cannot copy me like this, mother. You cannot. I'm gonna. No. You cannot copy my ball. You cannot copy my ball, mother. Who you are? Who you are? Copy my ball. Who you are? You're smarter than this. I tell it.
And so, for a little context there, Jordan just kind of copies Turbo's walk a little bit. And then Turbo gets out of the pool and is so pissed.
Is that what he's saying? He says, "You cannot copy my walk." Is that what he was
Yeah.
yelling?
He says, "You can't copy my walk." He goes fucking nuts. It makes him get out of the pool.
Well,
But
I think when you saw the pool, you should have realized you were watching the wrong show.
Yeah, I just thought like maybe they installed a pool there and they were trying to like, make it a little bit different. It was confusing because I was like, wow, I don't remember some of these contestants, but a lot of these contestants are in amazing shape. and the elimination challenge is way more physical than it's ever been. You know what? I'm sorry. I've screwed up as a host.
This is not looking good for you when you meet with Tom for your beginning of the year assessment.
Oh, it's gonna be so bad. He's gonna be so pissed. Anyway, I guess we need to power through with what you guys watched, and I'll try and chime in.
Yeah, that's fine. And speaking of chiming in, I guess we can just talk about this. So Reeves watched the wrong show that's produced by Tom, but in this show that's produced by Tom, Tom is now the guest judge of the quickfire, so he can keep more of a helicopter's eye on the contestants. And he's now judging the quickfire where they have to make a meal out of canned foods. And he's going around tasting everyone's dishes. And this is a classic interaction between Tom, because when Tom asks you a question, you know it probably wasn't good.
A canned dish for you guys. We have some hearts of palm with clams and a little coconut milk foam, creme fraiche with trout and chervil, and then lastly some water chestnuts with citrus.
Why the coconut?
I think that the coconut milk goes nice with the hearts of palms and the clams.
Think so?
You think so?
Do you think so?
You think?
Did he say that his meal had turbo on it? Did he say with something chopped
Yes.
turbo?
He had chopped turbo clams.
So now I see where Reeves got confused.
Yeah, this is where he got confused. Yes.
Yeah, there's some kind of crossover here. And, of course, I haven't seen this real episode of Top Chef, but surely at some point I'm thinking that Turbo will show up and get angry at someone for for copying his walk.
I'm pretty sure Turbo will show up as well. Someone will get angry at someone.
This was one of those great Top Chef moments where everyone completely shits on what the majority of people eat, which is just like canned food and things that's pre-prepared. There's like, this is fucking gross. This is going to be terrible. You can't make anything good out of canned food. Most of them use beans or garbanzo beans, which are beans.
Yes.
Well, they're called something else. I couldn't think what they were called. I said it earlier. Chickpeas. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, like canned chickpeas, there's like nothing wrong with that, right? Like they're perfectly fine. They're just like cooked. You just need to like rinse them off a little bit. So that's not really that much of a limitation to have to use canned chickpeas in making a dish. You can make something pretty good using those.
I would think so. And it seems like that they all did a pretty good job because Tom picked fucking 5 winners.
Yeah, Tom didn't know. So this is his first time being quickfire judge, and he realized very quickly that, man, these quickfire judges that we get, I don't know how they pick one person to win, because I've tasted all this food and I liked 5 of them. So you know what? Why don't I just pick the 5 that I liked?
Alon, I'd like you to come stand over here. Mia, why don't you come up to the front here? Sam, you can come up as well. Right, Cliff, you can just change places with Michael. And Frankie, you can stay where you are.
Okay, so who's your winner?
The winner of the Canned Good Challenge is Sam.
So I just realized something.
That we've played 5 clips in the first 5 minutes of this episode. after I told you guys not to play a bunch of clips.
Explicitly told.
No, that's not it at all. I just realized I didn't get the full clip of that. That's what I was pointing out. So, anyways, Tom picks 5 people to win.
Well, Tom does this fun thing where he shuffles everyone around, and he does it a few times. He does it by height first, and he goes, I don't like that. And he does it by weight, which is like, I don't really like that either.
He does it by color of your skin.
He starts to do it by skin tone, and then he's like, oh, and he stops.
Yeah. And Cliff's like, I'm bald. I'm not black.
And then he's like, okay, I'll put you guys in order of who I liked the best. And it goes like Sam, Mia, Alon, Frank, and Cliff. And he liked them all. And yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's supposed to pick one winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom,
that makes me feel better. I'm going to throw that in his face when I talk to him next week.
You should.
I'm like,
tell him everyone makes mistakes.
People make mistakes. You made mistakes. You didn't know you're only supposed to pick one winner in a quickfire of your own freaking TV show. I watched the wrong show for the podcast that I'm reviewing that's reviewing one TV show. We all make mistakes.
Yep.
So the way that they have to like retcon this mistake that Tom made is that they have to make half of the contestants not even cook in the elimination challenge. They get to eat and be a part of the judging table. And it's why? Why did you do that? It doesn't make any sense.
Also, the team that's left over to cook is the team of people who combined hate each other the most.
Well, that's why. I think the producers were like, okay, we need to get one of these 5 people out of here.
Yeah.
But we don't want to like how can we do this to guarantee that it'll be one of these 5 people that go home?
Tom said, say less. Watch me work.
Pretty smart, Tom. And putting them all in one place, like that's a good idea, because it's like it's a recipe for disaster. I mean, they probably can't even agree on whatever it is that they have to do together.
Definitely aren't going to come together and say, hey, we have to work together or we're going to be eliminated. And for the first time ever, they made a point to say you will be judged based on your specific dish that you make instead of as a whole. So, what you contribute actually matters this time. So why don't we work together? But
yeah, they had to. So the elimination challenge is to create a Thanksgiving dinner with a twist, a cutting edge twist. And, they all know what that means. Do something new and original. We don't just want to see potatoes. We just don't want to see, your basic Thanksgiving food.
Okay, quick. What if, Brian, if I asked you to come to a Thanksgiving with me and make a cutting edge Thanksgiving dish, what are you making?
I think what I would do is something that no one has ever done, and it's a lot of fun actually to talk about it. I would take a turkey and a chicken and a duck, and I'd put them all inside of a lasagna. And no one's ever done this. Like people, I know that there's been people like talk about this thing called like a turducken, which is when you like put all those things inside of each other. And I think that's a big football thing. But like no one's ever just put it in a lasagna.
Okay. So how would you layer that?
Oh, it would be duck sauce, chicken sauce, turkey sauce, cheese on top.
You know why I like that? There's no pasta in there.
No, we don't want the carbs. This is a low carb Thanksgiving.
Keep the cheese. I like that because when I think of lasagna, I'm like, the pasta, get the fuck out of here. Give me more sauce and give me more meat.
I always get mad. I'm like, why is there this big? Why can't I get one bite that is not pasta? Can I get one bite that is nothing but sauce and ricotta cheese?
I would love to cut into that and just like smell it. And then, of course, watch it just pool off the spatula because it has no form to hold itself. And then just scarf it down and just get so many different types of meats that I'm tasting. That sounds great.
And that's cutting edge.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming to my Thanksgiving, and for everyone out there, my Thanksgiving is traditionally a Black Thanksgiving. So that would shake things up a lot. I think people they would definitely remember you. I'll just say that. They'd be like, hey, I remember you. You were the one who made that lasagna with no pasta.
Can I go with what I would do?
Well, I am the co-host.
Okay.
So I feel like I should go next.
Oh, that's right. You should go.
So I would do, and this is cutting edge, I would do everything upside down. So you know how they have upside down pineapple cake?
Yes.
So I'd prepare turkey, but bake it upside down. I'd prepare mac and cheese, put the ingredients in backwards. And I'd make sweet potato candied yams, but put the marshmallows at the bottom and then put the yams on top.
And then for dessert, you'd have a right side up pineapple cake?
Yep.
Because that's upside down to an already upside down cake?
Yes, Brian, you got it. You're there.
And you'd be doing crisscross clothing with your clothes backwards too, right? With
yes,
the sword upside down?
I'd also put the spices in the reverse order, which would make an effect. So I usually put them in the beginning of the meal so they have time to like really soak in and marinate with the food. I do it at the very last second.
Well, so I think you're halfway there. I think to fully commit to doing everything upside down, you should eat all the ingredients before you cook.
Well,
yes. Get in the oven and cook yourself.
And then you get in the oven and cook yourself.
Here's my thing. I was thinking about that, but then I thought I immediately thought, ouch. So I
Mm.
stopped at cooking the food upside down and backwards.
You thought ouch because of how pointy eating pepper is by itself?
Yeah, by itself. And I was like, ouch. I kept taking bites and I was like, ouch, ouch, ouch. Ouch, ouch. Ouchie. Once I said ouchie, I knew I was in pain. So I said, I think I'm just going to stop at cooking the food upside down and backwards.
And you made a huge mess in your oven because you put it in the oven upside down too, right? And just went everywhere.
Yeah, it just pooled. Gets to the
Well,
bottom.
here's the thing. I turned my oven upside down.
Oh,
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so all the stuff would have normally spilled out, but because now the door opens from the bottom, it created a nice seal. So I haven't opened it since. I'll just say that.
It's like your oven has suicide doors.
Yes, that's right. Suicide doors. All right, Reeves, go ahead.
I mean, I was gonna say birthday cake, but it's like I don't know if it works after yours.
That's different.
You're gonna be remembered, I swear. You will be remembered at the
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
if you showed up to Jamal's traditionally black Thanksgiving with a birthday cake, you'd be remembered.
Oh, everybody, who about this motherfucker? Bringing a birthday cake. Whose birthday it is?
Yeah.
You would show up singing "White Happy Birthday" and they'd be very confused
Yeah.
and say, "What fucking song are you singing?"
Now,
My-
Reeves, do you know
My
about Black
corny
Happy
ass walks
Birthday?
through the door with birthday, like candles already lit. And I'm singing happy birthday.
Reeves, have you done a Black Happy Birthday before? Do you know what that's like when my people get together and sing Happy Birthday?
People.
I don't even pause real quick. I don't think I've ever heard Jamal say "my people," and I love it so much. I'm so into it.
Well, I mean, they are my people.
I know. I love hearing you say it.
I don't think I have.
Well, you've seen like Super Bowl halftime shows.
Yes.
It's like that, only with the
Whoa.
black artists and black people singing.
Wow.
That's every time black people have a birthday.
Every time black people have a birthday, someone titty get pulled out by Justin Timberlake.
Every single time at a birthday party, the one cousin who's dating a white guy, he's always got his hands everywhere. So, and titty pops out, but we're still singing. We cut the commercial. We come back. We cut cake.
And there's a lot of Pepsi there.
There's
so
oh
much
my
Pepsi.
god! You can
Every
smell the
birthday
Pepsi from the
is
curb.
sponsored by Pepsi.
Yeah, you can smell the Pepsi by the curb. And then the white boyfriend always comes in and is like, "Hey, I brought Coca-Cola." And then like you can just hear everyone can suck their teeth and go, "This motherfucker I was bringing Coca-Cola."
Oh man. I'd like to go to one. That sounds like fun.
All right. Well, after the pandemic, I'll think about it.
Okay. I like my eyes.
All right. All right. So where are we now?
So I guess they go to like, I mean, I can keep explaining what happens. The War of the Worlds show that they went. I mean, they do have an elimination challenge. The whole show is very convoluted. There's eliminations, there's tribunals, there's all this kind of stuff. But I feel like we should probably stay on Top Chef.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. I like in this that they had a tribunal as well because when they were discussing how to put stuff together, Carlos had to suggest that we institute a talking pepper grinder. If you're holding it, you get to talk. These are all adult human beings who couldn't figure out how to just talk one at a time and not yell over each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great moment. Betty and Marcel are fighting. That's just what happens. They hate each other. They really hate each other. It's great. Elia is not having a good time. She's really not having fun. They say that she needs to make soup, and she's like, "Well, why don't I just give them a shot of vinegar?" Which would have been a great instance to do to have. So we maybe later. I think there's this guy that we all know. He's this chef. He's this French chef who is similar to that. We don't need to do that now.
All right.
Unless we want to.
But I will say Elia is having a bit of a meltdown. She's not motivated by this challenge. She doesn't like the fact that that a bald person won because she tasted Cliff's food and she spat it out because she said this it tasted so bad. So Elia really is losing her mind, and we're not just saying that.
Or the spatula. Elia started to lose it a little bit. Make sure you have chocolate every.
Elia has a chocolate meltdown, no pun intended.
Now, the pun intended there.
Yeah, what would the pun be?
What would the pun intended be? Is it because Elia is a person of color? He said, Elia's having a chocolate meltdown, no pun intended. Or is it because she's smeared chocolate over her face and she's wearing blackface? She's wearing black cake face, and that is the meltdown of the pun that was not intended. I don't understand what Carlos means there when he says no pun intended.
So is chocolate meltdown maybe some kind of like dessert dish of some kind?
No, it's what white Fox News hosts say whenever a black woman's angry.
Okay.
And that
okay,
was
so
weird
it's
for
not
Carlos
that.
to say because Carlos is a gay person of color. For him to like say the same thing that Fox News says seems a little like not what I would expect him to say.
Yeah,
Hey.
and this isn't Fox News of our day. This is 2007 Fox News.
Yeah.
What was Fox News like in 2007?
Worse.
No way. There's no way.
Trust me, it was worse. I'm pretty sure Fox News back then just put up, you know how they have like watermarks on the screen you can put up graphics? I think at the top, it just said on the top left corner on all of Fox News said no coloreds. And they just left it. They were so brazen about it back then. They're like, what are you going to do?
Like now it's
now they're like, well, we can't put that up there because we'll get in trouble. But
this entire challenge was weird. Not only did they split the contestants up and only have half of them cook, they also made them cook where they live. And you know that's what they always say. You say you don't cook where you live because you end up eating shit and putting someone's toothbrush on the floor. And then when that happens, Frank has a chocolate meltdown and he goes.
Oh no, Frank and a chocolate meltdown too?
Yeah, Frank made chocolate batter, put it on his face, and then screamed at Marcel.
Had a full chocolate meltdown, and it probably wouldn't happen, but Sam, who seems very cool and sexy, he's the top 10 sexiest chefs in New York. Mm-hmm. When Marcel says like, I put everyone's stuff on the ground because it was like up on the kitchen area, Sam's like, if someone put my toothbrush on the ground, I'd have a problem with that. And Frank's like, yeah.
Yeah. Sam kind of like, come on, Frank. He did that thing. He's like, Frank, you're gonna let that happen to you?
He did one of those like, Frank, this guy disrespected you.
You're gonna let him disrespect you, Frank? And he's like, well, yeah, he did disrespect me, didn't he?
He got like right up close to him, and he just like held up his toothbrush, and he was like, if anyone did that to me and my toothbrush, it would be lights out for them.
And immediately from the
chocolate batter, it's like, do you need this?
You know what to
do this.
And then in the background, you heard Cliff say, "Who's the new guy?"
There's another bald guy here.
Yeah, he's like, "Who's the new bald guy?"
I don't know when this happens. Either after this, I think. But for some reason, they send Elia to go shopping for like dishware, and it never comes up. Like they never talk about the dishware or anything, and I don't know why she had to go do that. It shows her like shopping for plates, and then when they have the dinner, no one's ever like, "Look at these plates." No one ever talks about the plates at all.
Do you think it's because she was so visibly annoyed that the producers were like, "You need to go shopping because you're good content"?
Maybe, just to get her even more pissed. They're like,
to get her even more pissed.
Stuff, and she's.
Because I think that's what popped her. I think that's what that knocked her over the top was the fact that she was already annoyed, and then she had to go shopping for no reason that it should have just been landed on her. So then she's like, she's really lost her nuts and bolts at this point.
Now I'm thinking about it. This is the episode that replaces Restaurant Wars, right?
I think so. It's supposed to be, yeah.
So maybe they were like, oh, since this is only the second season, they were like, we did this really cool thing last season, where it was like 2 teams and they had to build their own restaurants and they had to get all their stuff. We're not going to do that again this year, but we are going to take a couple of very small elements of that and make them do it in another context this year. And so maybe it was like, oh, they did that in Restaurant Wars, so we're going to make her go to the, freaking store and buy a gravy boat.
It didn't make, this episode was wild. I think my favorite moment of the episode was when Tom goes to check in on the women's room where it's like Carlos, Betty, and Elia cooking, and Elia's like,
that's what I wanted. That's why I have that clip for, because it's amazing. I know everyone listen to this. I mean, someone who's holding back how angry they are in this conversation, you can just feel. So let's listen.
What are you guys cooking? What are you working on?
I am working in chopping my mushrooms.
What are the mushrooms for?
For a mushroom soup.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Why did you like yesterday about Cleve's dish? It's really
Cleve's
hard
dish?
to understand.
I actually thought it was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. What about it?
I spit it out. I was very in shock with the decision.
Really?
Really, really, really. I'm just being sincere here.
The beef is really good. You had to try the whole thing.
I was so mad and demotivated. But if you're saying that you really like the flavors.
I guess part of it was judging on how it tastes, but also judging on how the products were used. I thought it was good.
Okay.
Ooh, I got chills. I don't know you guys. Where she said, "Can I ask you a question?" That's in my lifetime, my history. That's never followed with something good.
Yeah, and especially like if you have a knife in your hand that you're just slowly chopping and pointing it at the person as they're talking, kind of using it as a pointer back and forth. For the listeners at home, we paused the episode and I watched the right one, so I've seen it now. We also had to re-record the whole thing again, so this is our third go at it.
Yep.
So she seems like very she's not over it. She's pissed. But I think she's kind of like getting to the point where she's just kind of like, okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I'll get over this, but I'm still angry at you.
I think Tom gets called out for like some producer nonsense, I think, here. Cause like she asks him and he's caught off guard and he's like, Cliff's dish? Man, that was pretty good. It's pretty good. And she's like, really? I spit it out. And then he's like, oh, it was really good. And she's like, what?
Other people there.
I mean, it's not just taste; it's also how he uses it. And it's like you're fucking dancing around this. Like clearly it sucked. It must have sucked because he's like, it was pretty good. And then she was like,
or he just doesn't remember it.
That's also likely.
You know what I think happened? I think he tasted Mia's dish and then tasted Cliff's dish, and he got him confused and was like, no. I tasted both of Mia's dishes. They're good. So, Mia number 1, Mia number 2, step over here. And then that's why everyone's like, why is Cliff that we all tasted his potato salad, anchovies, and mandarin oranges? It was awful. Which, by the way, just reading that dish sounds fucking awful. Potato salad, anchovies, and mandarin oranges? Holy crap.
Most of those dishes sounded bad. And also, Elia very quickly backs off of this hill that she's on when she like calls out Tom. She's like, I can't believe it. It's so gross. I'm mad. Blah, blah. And then he answers her and she's just like, I respect this man. Like she think that quote is, he was honest with me and I respect this man.
Yeah.
He told me the truth. And it's like, no, he didn't. He lied to you.
Yeah, he didn't. He lied right to your face. He's an actor. So
he's just
like I said, this is Tom Colicchio, not Tom Colicchio.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the body double that they got for this episode.
Mm-hmm. Completely different guy.
But she gets it together and they actually they make their dishes. And even after Marcel gets a talking to by the new guy Frank in brownface, and Elia calls out Tom, they make their dishes. But before that, we have a bit of a curveball, probably the biggest culinary curveball ever thrown at anyone anytime this person is a judge for something. Reeves, who shows up and is the judge for the elimination challenge?
Wow, it is Mr. Sir Anthony Bourdain's.
That's right, everybody. Anthony Bourdain, the freak of foie gras, the sultan of saucier, the knight of kelp cooking, the bastard of baked goods, and
One more.
the prince of pan searing. Anthony freaking Bourdain is the guest chef for the elimination.
Yeah, freaking roast master general. He's there to just tear them apart and to freaking bust up Tom every time he says anything.
Anything. Tom Colicchio is very laughable in this episode because anything Anthony says, I think he's just programmed to be like.
He's just giggling. He just can't get over how hilarious Anthony Bourdain is.
He's starstruck. Tom is starstruck. He doesn't know what to do. I mean, Anthony Bourdain's is the freaking sultan of saute.
I mean, he's the prince of pan-searing.
He's the pope of puree.
He's the titan of tartar.
He's the giant of green salads.
He's the my dad of he's what's a D thing?
I got one. He's the master of miso.
Ah, yeah.
He's the brother of brining.
He's the my dad of dequois. That's a thing, right?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's the sexy bitch of sashimi.
That's good. So yeah, he freaking Bourdain is there. Everyone's losing their shit because they're like, "Oh, okay, now it's serious. We really got to do a good job because he's going to tear us apart."
I mean, just listen real quick to what he says before they start bringing out their food.
Looking forward to smashing the hopes and dreams and ambitions of each and every one of you. Yes.
Oh boy, looking forward to smashing the hopes and dreams and ambitions. Oh boy, I would be scared to cook for that guy.
Did we lose Reeves?
I think now Reeves is frozen and gone. That's a shame. We're almost at the end. So as the co-host, it's my duty to put myself in the hosting position now. And now, Brian, I'm uplifting you to the assistant to the co-host. It's just temporary position. Okay, so let's just
I will uphold this position with duty and integrity.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
With a righteous eye towards justice, and with a
Jesus Christ,
with a firm grip on self-righteousness and indignation. And I don't know what that word means.
Okay. So all that aside, we are now, they're cooking, they're bringing stuff out for Anthony Bourdain, and it is a complete and utter shit show. I mean, Anthony Bourdain hates everything that's being brought out. I mean, he says things like, "I can't stand the little punk" when he's talking about Marcel.
He's like, he didn't like his food, and he's like, "I can't stand the little punk." And they're like, I don't know about that.
And then also he's saying things like, as a whole for the Thanksgiving, it was a complete failure of imagination, which is kind of not their fault because you can't reimagine Thanksgiving. It's kind of set in stone, kind of the foods you have to make. But he hates the meal. I hated the meal. I hated watching the meal come out. I liked the drama, but I hated the look of the meal. It didn't look appetizing. So Bourdain and everyone hates the food. They bring him in, and kind of like a firing squad, they just rip all of the contestants apart as they're staring at them and telling them that their food sucks. And then they do a real fun thing where they ask the contestants, "Who do you think should go home?" And this is where Betty's fangs come out yet again.
Betty's creme brulee was a little bit lacking today.
Betty, now you've had...
Carlos is out. Gone. I thought it was the weakest dish. I don't like Marcel. Marcel is difficult to work with, so for that purpose alone, I would vote that Marcel be gone from the competition. But out of these two, it would be Carlos.
So she's very calm when she says Carlos should be gone.
Yeah, very cool, collected.
Yep,
like
very
here are my
mature.
reasons why I feel like
Yeah.
Carlos should be. Well, and first she starts with like, I think personally Carlos is the one who should leave, not just jumping 7 steps ahead and saying Carlos is out,
gone.
I'm not gonna go there. All right, Carlos, I think that Betty should go. Betty, Carlos, get the fuck out of here.
She 0 to 10 very, very quickly. She's under a lot of stress.
Yeah. I think everyone's also just they've already been through the firing squad with Anthony Bourdain ripping them new buttholes. So as soon as Carlos tried to say something about Betty, Betty was like, "You spent an hour making a salad. Shut up."
Oh gosh, this was great. I think Bourdain brings that out in people. He's throwing around like super awesome insults. He says it's a complete failure of the imagination.
Yeah.
He also does say that he loves Mike like a son.
Yeah. Just because of how defiant he is to conform.
Yeah, which I think is very funny.
Yeah. He's like, I see so much of myself in you outside of like how big you are.
He's like, you're punk rock just like me. And Mike's like, that's exactly what I'm going for.
That is what he said. I mean,
everything is intentional. Everything that's like subtle and good about what I do. Nothing is just like by chance or whatever that I've just like fooled my way into something. It's like I do it all on purpose, dude.
Yeah.
Got my lasagna idea? You guys hear about my lasagna idea?
That's right. He pitches it. He pitches the lasagna, and Tom's like, "I would like to see that." Yeah, we all want a lasagna that is sauce duck, sauce turkey, sauce chicken, cheese.
And Elia rolls her eyes like, "This motherfucker. Of course you'd like a turducken lasagna. You liked the other bald guy's food that you had."
I think they should have made them hold the pepper mill while they were doing the elimination part too. I think
it would have been great.
Them. Yeah, could you imagine Betty grabbing it as quickly as possible from Carlos?
Carlos, he's out. Carlos is out.
Well, then we'd end up with like it was Betty in the judges' table with the pepper mill situation was what happened because she would have murdered him with it.
So they go through all that. Betty screams the loudest again, and the judges, because she's so vocal, hear that, and that influences their decision, and they decide to send Carlos home. And let's hear Carlos's very short goodbye.
Carlos, please pack your knives and go. The rest of you can go too. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Focus, dude.
I will.
I'm going to go home and have a margarita. And I'm going to toast to all these wonderful people. Remember, good luck, break an egg. I am surprised I didn't go further in the competition. I still had a couple of tricks left up my sleeve that I didn't get to use. I came here for my Top Chef diploma, and I may not graduate, but I definitely got an education.
So he says, I may not have graduated and got my diploma, but I definitely got an education. What does that mean exactly?
Well, it means he failed out of Top Chef school. Frickin' Dean Tom kicked him the fuck out. Carlos says a lot of things that I don't understand. He kind of has like this aura of like someone that's like very like I don't know, like upper class or something like that. And then he says phrases and like idioms that like don't make sense or are not correct. So, and he also in a challenge where it's Thanksgiving, fucking easy. You could do whatever. He decides to make a salad in 4 hours, which it looked like it took him 20 minutes to put together.
Yeah.
He he got sent home with the least amount of pomp and circumstance out of anyone. There's like no discussion. There's no like, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so, but so-and-so go home. They're just like, okay, yeah, it's Carlos.
Yeah, it's Carlos.
And they call his name and he just walks away. He just goes away
Yeah.
as fast as he can. Bourdain daps up Mike.
Yeah, that rules. I love
He
that.
says, focus, dude. And Mike's like, oh, I will.
It's like, yeah, of course.
You know,
That's
like
what
when
I'm
you
trying
meet
to
your
do.
idols and like you kind of freeze up like Reeves did when we interviewed Harold. You kind of like yell something else back, and he's like "Cowabunga," and Bourdain's like, "This interaction's over."
Yeah. He did kind of do the hang 10 to him as well. And Bourdain's like, get the fuck out of here. What's wrong with you?
He's like, "We're done here. I said the thing. You're walking out. Don't ruin the shot."
Yeah.
Also, Reeves did not freeze. I was just joking.
Mm-hmm. I didn't freeze. I was brave.
Also, Carlos hits a pot on the way out like a little destructive shithead. He bangs the pot with his hand on the way out. What are you doing, man? Don't touch the props.
Well, that's his "I'm leaving" gong.
Yeah.
So-
He was trying to make a gong sound and it
Yeah.
didn't sound. It just sounded like he was trying to destroy some cookware.
He kind of startled himself when he hit it because he was like, "Oh, I was expecting it to be a louder sound. I thought it was gonna go wrong, but it doesn't. You're just hitting cast iron." So yeah, that's the episode.
That's the freaking episode. What a fucking boring ass episode.
It's my favorite episode.
Who knows if this episode of Pod Chef will even make any sense or go up. We restarted it, I think, 15 times. We had different people come in and try and sub in for us. All of their audio didn't work either.
Yep.
I watched the wrong show. Oh boy. This episode of Pod Chef is a good reflection of this episode of Top Chef, which was great.
All right, let's get out of here and let's see if these audios are still working. Everybody, go. If this is something you're listening to right now, go on to Apple Podcasts and rate us 5 stars. Leave a review saying what you had for dinner the night before. And if this episode is not what you're listening to right now because none of it's saved, then you'll probably get some like 25-minute episode that's going to come out. And we'll let you know that's why you got it. We'll tell you then.
Yeah. And if you guys have questions on that episode of the challenge, I can answer those too. It was a good episode.
Yeah, I have one. Who is Turbo and Jordan?
Turbo is a contestant from Turkey. He was on, I believe, Survivor Turkey, and he's also like a freaking kickboxer. And I think he might have murdered someone at some point, not on the show, but just like in his life. And Jordan is just a guy that I think was on The Real World and is a challenge vet and has won before. And Jordan said he talked some shit about Turbo and then immediately backed down, even though he did make fun of his walk. And then Turbo got out of the pool and got very angry and had to be held back by security and was kicking through windows. It was cool. It's a good show.
That sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, everyone. Until then, we're going to pack our knives and hopefully go. Bye-bye.